All right, welcome back. Hopefully you have your doors and windows on all sides of your house. Uh, on this next step, we are going to add some roofs. Okay, now the roofs can be a little frustrating. Remember, if something happens crazy that you're not sure what's going on, you always have an undo button in the lower left, or you can use your Control Z function. So if something happens and you're not sure what it was, undo, we'll try it again. You might have to adjust some lines. Okay. The main thing with roofs is you have to determine where you want your peak. Okay. A peak of your roof is where it comes up to a point. Like most roofs are going to be triangular, so a peak would be at that top corner of the triangle. So, for example, on my garage, I want my ridge, my peak ridge, to run side to side. So I'm going to click from midpoint here, and I'm going to go straight across the garage. Now on my house, I want it to go the other way. So it'll look like this. So I would start, if you have a nice simple square roof, this will be your best bet. But we're just going to locate where you want the peak of your roof to be. Once you have that done, and you have your line drawn, with your cursor tool, so grab the arrow, and we are just going to select that line. Once we have that line selected, we can come down and grab your move tool. So now when we move it, we will move that ridge up to the height. Okay, now we'll do the same thing with my garage. Grab my select tool, highlight that so it's blue. With my move tool, pulling it up along that blue axis, and I click. Now a trick, something to keep in mind that might be helpful to you. Sometimes when you're moving your roof, it won't actually go straight up. What you can do is when you first click it, I've clicked it, hit your up arrow, and it will lock it onto the blue axis. So now no matter how crazy I'm moving my finger, you can't see it right now, but I'm moving it all over my mouse pad, it will only go straight up and down. So I'll do the same thing with my roof. Click on that, hit my up key. Oh, excuse me. Move it, click move, hit the up key so it's locked on blue axis. Now it goes straight up and down. Okay. So if you have a pretty basic roof, that's really all there is to it. Okay. Now, if you have a little bit crazier of a shape of a house, I'm going to draw one real quick. That maybe your house is one story all the way around and you want this roof to match up. You still have to draw the ridge line, the peak of your roof. So in this L-shaped house, maybe you want like a triangle on this side along with a triangle on this side, and they kind of go back and meet in the middle. On that one, we're going to start in the middle, and we're going to draw a line straight back. We're going to meet in the middle, and we're going to draw a line straight back. Okay, so now we basically have a grid here of where we want our roof to be. All right, I'm going to bring my grid back here. I had to change a couple of things, so I had to back up a couple of steps. So again, now we're right where I was before. We have our grid for the roof. I am going to delete our extra lines. Okay, so now what we've done is we have that ridge line that goes this way along the long part of the house and then comes over across the shorter piece. So this will be the high point of our roof. What we have to do though is we have to because eventually we're going to move this up like we did on the other example. We have to put some places that the roof can break along, and we can make those turns. So with my line tool, I'm going to make some diagonal cuts or some diagonal lines that go from the corner of the house to the corner of our peak or corner of our ridge. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select our point that we want to move up. Now there's a trick here that I need to tell you about, that you can click once to select that line. Now by holding shift, there's that plus or minus that shows up next to your cursor. That'll allow us to select a second line. So now we have the ridge of our roof that we're going to move up. I'm going to grab my move tool. And I can hit my up key to lock that into place. Move them up together. Now when we go around, it's got that L shape. Another roof type, like maybe you want a pyramid roof. I'm going to draw a square house, push pull. So now on this one, kind of the same thing. We want to draw where the edges of our roof would be, where the ridges would be. So on this, since it's a pyramid, we'll have 4 corners. Now on this one, with my move tool, we just want to move this one point up. So by doing that, I click on that, hit blue for up. Now you can have a pyramid type roof. Okay, so those are some basic roof options. If you have something other than that that gets very original, I will be back on Tuesday. We can finish it up then. Just move on with the material video. Make sure your doors and windows are on. We can do some finishing touches on Tuesday again. But if one of these roofs work for you, that's great. If you got it and your partner's having trouble, please remember to help them. But in the next video, we're going to go over adding materials to your house to make them more realistic. All right, so once you have a roof, or you've at least attempted to do a roof, move on to the next video for materials. Thanks.